Welcome to episode 24. Hello and welcome back. Okay, big task ahead. We are going to be putting the engine back in the bike. You'll recall the engine's dry. Also, the valve clearances haven't been altered yet. So I'm going to do those items when it's back in the bike actually. So engine in the bike, carbs back on, unaltered from when I took them off. I will strip and refit the carbs at a later date, but I want to eliminate a number of things that are changing. So engine back in the bike, ignition system, which I am changing actually. I'm putting a modern reg rec in instead of the diode board. Yeah, let's just start, see how far we get. Okay, you'll remember that when I put the oil pan on, I didn't have the right torque wrench for doing these bolts, but I now have, so I shall torque those up. And to do that, I'll flip the engine on its back. Before I do that, I'm going to put a squirt of oil using my fork seal syringe, remember that? Just going to drop a little bit of oil in the pots, because again this is a dry build, just so when I'm moving the engine around there's a bit of oil gets in the cylinders prior to me putting it back in the bike. Let's do that. There you go. I don't want much, just a couple of bits. So let's see if I can do this one-handed. Okay, so there's a spark plug hole, and here's a bit of oil in there, and it is literally just a touch of oil just to get that. Do the other side as well, just to give that a little bit of lube on those cylinders. Great. So now there's a bit of oil in each of the cylinders. As I move the engine around to work on it, it will distribute a bit around the piston rings. Well, that's the plan. Right, let's get this tilted back. Okay, remember the torque sequence. We shall follow that. 1, 3, 10, 13, 14. Get in. And then in prep for the engine going in, I'll take these bits off. That's it. Okay. Gosh. Cheers for that. All right. Okay, let me tell you what you missed there. I had a willing helper help me lift the engine back into roughly into the space of the frame. Then I've used ratchet straps to kind of hold and suspend the engine in place while I push through these securing bolts. Let's just push through. I've slipped the side stand back on, and in here, if you can see it, you probably can't actually. Super close. let me freestyle it. Then in here, a bit of light. So yeah, so here, this is the other bolt that goes through, holds the engine in. There's a little plate here which holds the side stand on. That's just on loosely. And now what I've got to do is lower the engine so that the bolt that is just behind there, that hole there, is in line with this bolt, and I can push it through. How hard can that be? Watch this space. Okay, I've applied some grease to the side stand pivot. I've also put some inside the hole, as I say. So pop that side stand on there, lovely. This is the retaining plate which sits in there, so a bit of jiggling. There you have it, bit of movement. I bought a new stainless steel spring which will go on here. Always a laugh, putting a new spring on the side stand. Okay, so interestingly, the new side stand spring that came is considerably different from the one that came off. Considerably different, and despite a couple of calls to my supplier, Motorworks, they insist that this is the spring. So, let's give it a go. There you go. Right. Oops. I was struggling to get it on, it fell off. There you have it. I've got to say, there's no way that's going on there. No way. Did I say no way? Look at that. Cool. Okay. The engine is in the bike. Well, bones of it anyway. Right, I think I'm going to wrap it there for this time. On the grounds, the next job's quite a big one, which I'll just talk you through. So, this little fella here is the diode board, and I've decided, for better for worse, to replace that with that modern regulator rectifier. But I've got to make a little bracket first to so it bolts in. So I'll do that. Then I'll be putting the starter motor back in, that big hole there. Then the carbs on, gearbox on. Then we'll try and put some oil and fuel in it and try and start it. That should be fun. So there you have it for now. Thanks for watching. Please like if you like it, comment, questions, subscribe. I like questions, I've been getting a few of those. Keep them coming, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.